brain part 2. So we are on the lobes of the brain, which is the very bottom of that page 2 of note. Well, page 2 of the packet. And so, and like I said, these are just like the bones, skull bones, and so they should be pretty easy to remember, but we're going to talk about what the actual functions are. And so maybe on the computer there. All right, so first part, frontal, reasoning, thinking, language. So this is what we're talking about with the teenage brain. This part is not quite developed for you. The parietal, so the touchy-feely part 1, so it's all your sensory, your temporal, which is your hearing, which makes sense because it's right by your ears, and the occipital. So going in a little bit more depth, you have, again, your frontal lobe is the thinking. It's also the motor control. So you being able to move is all being controlled by your frontal lobes. So you have your primary motor area, which is going to give you precise motor control, premotor area, muscle coordination, association area, so your conscious thought, problem solving, and then you have your Broca's area. So this is motor speech. For me actually be able to talk to you, that's the Broca's area. So if you were to get hit in the head, stabbed in the head, something, shot in the head, and it's in the frontal lobe, not a good thing. It could affect your ability to speak, think, move. And then on our next one, so going back, you have your parietal lobe. So this is your all your sensory. And so being able to feel pain, coldness, touch, your taste, and also along with speech, this helps you understand speech. So get stabbed here, and you're not going to get, a lot of your senses aren't going to be work. You may not be able to really taste things, and then you may not be able to understand speech. The occipital, so way in the back, this is your visual, and so opposite side of your head than your eyes, but it's going to control you being able to interpret visual and getting that information from your eyes. It interprets all of that. Temporal, right by your ears, it's going to control auditory, so you being able to hear me talk right now and being able to process that information is all in your temporal lobes. And so we're going to talk about some other specialized parts, and so you can see in here where all those things that we just talked about are. So the Broca's area, giving you motor speech, but we're going to really focus right around in here. If you remember the central fissure or sulcus, the groove right here that separates the frontal from the parietal, and that's the sensory cortex. And so, or the cerebral cortex, there's a thin layer that the outermost part, which is the part with all the wrinkles, that's the part that you're missing, and this is called the homunculus, and we're going to talk more about this, but the red is showing the motor, so the part of the brain and how much of your brain is used for motor. This part, the blue, is the parietal, the sensors, so how much of your brain is devoted to feeling those different body parts. So if your size of you were how much motor and sense, this is what you would look like. Alright, so different layers. You have the gray matter, that's the outer layer that has the neuron cell bodies, and so it's a little bit darker. And then you have the white matter, the corpus callosum, the inside, and those are kind of sitting there. Basal nuclei, internal islands. Let's see. Here you guys can see the optic tract and chiasma. There's a cross there, and they cross over each other. And I think I'm going to stop there.